bloody war and liberty for their descendants. Thanks to the renegades, free today. Thanks to the renegades.
And welcome back, everybody. With me tonight is Tim White. Hello, Tim. Welcome to the show.
Hello. How are you, Jerry?
Oh, I'm doing real good.
Just getting back a little late. I had to get my calling card and at my local Sam's Club, and the store was absolutely swamped with what I would view as mostly illegal aliens.
This is Colorado.
Yes, it is. And it's a very, very serious problem, as the informed people are certainly aware of, and the absolute influx of illegals from the southern border has just gotten to be crisis proportions. Of course, this is all according to plan, but we have now border emergencies on the border of Arizona and New Mexico. Arnold Schwarzenegger is still wondering whether to, have an emergency along the Southern California border. But I think that's going to be something that's going to happen, not by his choice. He's going to be forced to, because there's so many people in Southern California that are so extremely angry and upset what's going on here that they're going to have to stop the flow here, and it's going to have to be done in a very ugly manner, I'm afraid.
Didn't two states declare emergencies last week, Arizona and New Mexico?
Yep, and I foresee it happening in other states. Actually, it is not, going to be involving the border. It's just going to be I think something that's going to be happening because it's just such a serious problem, and it's radically altered Colorado, that's for sure, and it's radically altered, just the construction industry, and people that need to find jobs aren't, and it's just starting to change to a certain degree. But I remember years ago, not too many years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, up in Aspen, Vail, and the major resort areas here in Colorado, that contractors were putting people on, sometimes dozens and dozens on a home site that might be a 10 or 15 or $20 million home, and it's got 100 to 150, 200 people working on the home, and possibly upwards of half or more would be illegal aliens without green cards or anything, and they'd be working there up to about 28, 29 days, and then a phone call would be made to INS or something, and people would show up on the job, and there'd be a whole new crew needed because all the illegals were taken away. And they didn't have to be paid either, so that was a huge thing, and it's not something I'm certainly condoning by these contractors, but now the Minutemen are, starting to look to cracking down on the contractors that are allowing this kind of situation to happen.
Yeah.
And so, we're just being totally overrun. And what's going on the border involving the Zetas, which are, basically paramilitary forces that, and in speaking with Dennis Bossack down in Deming, New Mexico, who has his website, UFO Lab, UFOLAB, just put that into Google and his site will pull up, and he's been screaming his head off for years of what's going on down there, but
I'm losing him, Steve.
I can't talk to him to confirm. Pardon?
That's how I'm losing him. I can barely hear him. He's getting fainter and fainter and fainter.
Oh, yeah.
I can barely hear you.
You barely able to hear me now?
Yeah, let me see if I can. I got my phone turned all the way up.
Huh.
All right, there you go. You better.
Well, it's a cell phone. I apologize, folks, but cell phones being what they are. But anyway, the situation is just heating up on just everywhere you look. I mean, every point of the compass has got a major, serious problem that everybody's facing, and the situation with the Chinese is entirely a different matter here. And Denver has a big connection with what's going on with the Chinese agenda because of the flow of technology that I believe was a lot of it was coming through Denver, was being facilitated through Denver connections here. And I was just talking to a friend of mine in San Diego this morning, and he was reading me a couple of articles that had come out in the San Diego newspaper about major operations that are construction operations that are now, being conducted by COSCO, China Ocean Shipping Company,
right,
which is the largest container ship fleet in the world.
Yep, I was talking about that last week with Larry. If you get stuck at any kind of train stop, you just sit and watch all the Costco containers going by, and they're all owned by China.
Exactly, and they're moving approximately 48 million container units, which are measured in 20-foot increments. They're shipping over 48 million per year, and
this isn't high chairs.
Pardon?
People hear of Costco, and you think of high chairs and playpens and car seats, and but we know that Costco's shipping containers. I know it's been alleged that they're moving in weapons, that they've been shipping in weapons for years.
Well, they started that when they took over Long Beach. In fact, they actually started things probably before they took over Long Beach, which apparently was officially done by executive order or presidential decision directive by Senator Bill Clinton when he signed the port over supposedly a 36-year lease to Costco. This occurred in January of 1998, and this was after it looked like there might have been a chance of having it turned down in the House and Senate, but that got precluded with an executive order, and so there was already Costco operations that were going on there for quite some time before that date. There's a friend of mine who was with the University of Denver, and he was also a Naval Reserve officer. He was a warrant officer for a class, and anyway, he would be called to active duty for 2 to 4 week stints. And in December of 1997, he was called to about a 3-week active duty period, and that meant that he had to go out to San Diego and the San Diego Navy base and North Island. And so he's in uniform when he gets there, and he drives up to the gate at the San Diego Navy base, and there's no front guard at the gate like normal. There's no guard post at all like normal, and he's just aghast because it had been some months or longer since he had been there, and that was totally removed. And so he has to drive onto base, and he's looking for a particular place to go, and he finally asks, where he needed to go, and then he says, oh, by the way, what happened to the guard post? And he says, oh, they took that out because, and he says, why? And he says, this is supposed to be a secure base, certain people can't just get on the base. And so I guess what he was told was that, they took the base out, the base entrance guard post out, and that's occurred at other entrances to the base also because they were having too much problem with drive-by shootings. Now, this was apparently they were having incidences which was involving automatic weapons at times. So where are the gangs getting this stuff? Well, Costco has been bringing in AK-47s for some period of time to Long Beach, even before they signed lease documents with the city of Long Beach, because the base was turned over to the Long Beach Naval Facility in Long Beach is the largest container port in the entire west coast of North America, and so it's regarded as a very strategic port. But in September of 1994, that was turned over along with a whole bunch of other base closings, and almost immediately the mayor of Long Beach, Mayor O'Neill, started marketing it and the facilities to the Chinese. And for the 3 years that it took for all of this deal to come together, she made 10 or 12 trips directly to Beijing the mayor of Long Beach, Mayor O'Neill. I can't remember her first name. But, this is just a total outrage, so that there was various groups that got together in Southern California to try and stop this.